Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah,
Beautiful. I just need to give you guys a small disclaimer before you get started. Are you guys all okay with this conversation being recorded and being uploaded on YouTube and being used for marketing purposes, both for your company as well as both for your business as well as mine? Is
yes,
each one of
absolutely.
you okay with it?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome, awesome, beautiful. Thank you guys. And what about you, Damian? Are you okay with being recorded as well?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, awesome. All three of you are okay. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us from Los Angeles. So please tell us what's going on with you guys.
So right now we just flew in today. We're working on meeting other people and meeting local farmers agents. Also, we're looking to network with local business owners, mortgage people, as well as commercial real estate brokers. So far, we've been successful. Got a few appointments while we're down here. One is with a mortgage broker who's going to send us some business. Also, a commercial property business that's going to send us some people too. So, what do you guys think? We're doing pretty well, huh?
It sounds like it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, not a bad start.
Awesome, awesome. And just to refresh you guys' memory, I know me and Eric, we have talked about this a couple of times, but I just want to make sure Damien and Pete are aware of this as well. If you're trying to get in touch with some of the local real estate agents, just go to Yelp, right? Look at
Yeah.
the real estate offices that are close to the zip code at the restaurant that you guys are in. By the way, which restaurant are you guys in right now?
So we're at the Hyatt Regency on, I believe it's, I can't. Let me see if I can find it online.
We're right near Pepperdine University.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. So you just plug in the zip code and it should give you all the real estate agents nearby to that zip code. So you can just start I'm sorry, and then go through the reviews. Usually they'll name the agents, somebody just did an awesome job for them, that kind of stuff. So just call the office and ask for that particular agent,
Okay.
right?
That
So
makes a
it
lot of sense.
doesn't sound like a cold call. So the person who picks up the phone, they'll feel that you already know this person, and you guys can go one step further too. You can find these people on Facebook and try to connect with them way before you even call the office,
Right. Yeah, that's so
right?
important because then we've got a warm lead. Somebody that's expecting us. We've got a time set. Maybe like 10 or 15 minutes. Doesn't have to be
Yeah,
a long
absolutely.
time, but just something where we can let them, know where we've been helping out, making a big impact in Sacramento, coming down here, making that big impact, getting those connections going.
Absolutely. And just to refresh your memory once more, Eric, whenever you contact these people, before you start talking about farmers, you also want to mention to them, hey, if you can just get together for a cup of coffee or whatever, I can also promote you on my Facebook fan page, which, by the way, as of this afternoon, Eric, your fan page has a weekly reach of almost 1,000 people. I'm going to
There
show
you
you
go.
just in a second so you can see these numbers for yourself.
That's pretty amazing.
Mhm.
So I think I was at what, maybe 50 before.
Oh yeah, when we got started, we are almost close to zero. I'm going to show you in a second. I'm going to show you in a second. Let me do a screen share so you guys can all see.
So that's huge growth in a week, Raj, and I just really appreciate everything you've done for myself and you know Damian. I mean, everybody's really seeing the progress that we're making. We're walking into places, and we're not having to worry about the gatekeeper. We're just going right past the gatekeeper, right to the big wig in the back who needs the help and needs our services. So we just appreciate everything you're doing for us, Raj.
Thank you so much, Eric. And by the way, the feeling is mutual because you have opened a lot of doors for me as well. Because not only did you bring Damien's deal, next Tuesday I'm going to be talking to Ryan as well. So hopefully something should happen there as well. See, it's all based on your recommendation. You have just opened just so many doors for me, man, and I'm extremely grateful to you for this. But all that I'm going to tell you is, see, this is all just the beginning. This is after 2 or 3 weeks of work. We are talking a long road ahead of us. So hopefully, there should be a lot of deals between you and me.
Right there, that 965. That's huge. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the big thing. We're creating a network and we're getting a lot of synergy. A lot of people are noticing the hard work that we're putting into it, and also, the importance of how we're helping people out insurance-wise. We're writing good limits. We're helping people out, who are in major accidents and protecting them from any type of, liability. So, it works out well. We're having a lot of fun. I mean, I was telling Damian earlier, it's so much fun getting out there, networking with people in person, networking with people on the internet, and it's just opened my eyes to a whole nother avenue, whole nother area of people where we can, market and help them out. So thank you.
Yeah, and I mean, this is an area where right now, since I bought an agency, I don't have the time to do this, and I know how important it is.
Oh, yeah, it's priceless.
I definitely will be getting with you next week.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Pete. Thank you, Pete.
Yeah.
So, Eric, do you see your Facebook page? Do you see your weekly reach right here, 965?
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot. In 1 week? I mean, just by myself, I think I could only reach about 50 to 60 people, and that was me putting in countless hours. Now I get those countless hours back in my day, so I can work with, other farmers agents, get to work with other customers, and, know that it's still working and going on.
Right. And the same thing with Damian's page too. It's also getting a lot of traffic. So when you guys go into all these agents' offices, or even when you call them for the very first time, what you want to be mentioning to them is, hey, if you just meet me for a couple of minutes, I'll be happy to promote you on my fan page, on my Facebook fan page, which currently has a weekly reach of almost 1,000 people. Is that making sense? Can you hear me, Eric?
Yes, absolutely. And I think that, what we've seen while we've been down here is just continuing to focus on that. Damian and I, Pete, we've all been thinking about, places where we can go to as soon as the conferences are over in the evenings, so that way we can reach out. And, if we need to rent a car, we can all rent a car and we can go travel and talk to those local business owners. And, it's really nice having that outreach, because the first thing we see them when we talk to them is, are you on Facebook? Let's connect with you. Let's get a picture. I mean, you've seen our pictures that we posted in the day that we've been here. I think we've taken about 4 or 5 pictures, posted them, and already had some great conversations with potential clients. I think, Damian, you're reaching out to a customer that we went to high school with. In a couple weeks, you're going to have lunch with them. So, I mean, we're already seeing that trend, and we're looking to increase that. I know, Damian, we've kind of set a goal of about 20 to 30 deals per day. That's our end game, and by doing that, by just focusing on the activities of, taking pictures, connecting, sending messages, we're going to get there.
Absolutely. That brings me to the next point. Damian, how are you doing, man? You've been very quiet in the background. What are you scared of?
Believe it or not, actually, the reason why Eric's talking so much is I'm a ventriloquist, and that's actually that I have my hand.
So all this time it was you who was talking. Oh, okay.
Yeah, this whole time it was me. Yes.
Awesome. Awesome.
It's going great. I've seen increased traffic. The networking has been great. Just personal introductions. It's amazing what happens when you say, "Here, meet my friend Damian." That simple phrase has opened quite a few doors for me, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Damian. And again, like I told Eric, we are just getting warmed up. See, we haven't. We are probably like 20 to 30% into the strategy at this point. It's not like we really completed the strategy itself. So I'm really excited about you guys. Because for the first time in 5 years, I would say, I've actually met somebody who has the fire in their belly. All these days, most of the people that I connected with and even did business with them, they're kind of people who are expecting me to do some kind of miracle for them. But at the end of the day, see, the fire needs to exist in your belly for you to be able to go out and close some deals. And the way Eric has done it has been just amazing. This is all good, but I do need to give credit to Eric as well, because you really hit the ground running.
Sure.
And the other good thing I really like about you is you follow instructions. You don't question my judgment. You don't argue with me. You don't. I mean, you're really letting me drive, and you're just executing, and you're really executing really well.
Good.
Right?
Thank you.
Yes, sir. So this makes a great partnership. So let's talk to Pete for a second. So Pete, you just said that you just bought a new agency. Is that what you said?
I did. I did indeed. It's located in an area where I'm going to need to. There's some opportunity there, but I also going to need to hit a few other markets. And I think some of the things these guys are doing as far as getting the connections with particularly mortgage lenders and to a lesser extent realtors.
Sure.
That's an area where I need strength. I need a little bit of help in that, and also. I have a pretty good idea how to do the Facebook and the LinkedIn, but it's an issue of time to be as efficient as I'd want to be on that. I don't have the time to do that, and
Sure.
that's an area where I think you can be worth your weight in gold. And is the stuff I'm seeing you doing for Eric right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. See, that's what we are really talking about. There's really two components to this, Pete. One component is all the technical components, meaning the keyword optimization,
Mm-hmm.
the videos, building the blogs and building the fan page, that kind of stuff. The other 50% of that is actually the people connections,
Yes.
right? So when you're a agency owner, you're going to have so much paperwork, you're going to have so much insurance related stuff to focus on. There will be continuing education. See, those are all things that you really need to focus on to actually have your business up and running.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Whereas the
indeed.
marketing piece is, it's really the supporting role, and that's where, I mean, if you really start doing all these things yourself, it's not like it cannot be done, but it will basically suck the time out of your day.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I'm seeing. And the thing is also is when you look at companies that have been successful and they've had a downturn, you'll often hear people say, cut this, cut that. One thing they never do is is cut marketing. You actually increase your marketing to get back into the game. And that's what I need to do at this point.
Absolutely. This is all that affects the bottom line. And the good news on me is, see, because I'm working with a lot of small business owners, see, my network has been growing at 10 to 15% a month.
That's good.
Okay. As of right now, I have close to 15,000 connections on Facebook alone, but even those connections, if you watch it over a period of time, it's actually increasing at a dramatic rate,
Right.
right? Because
Yeah.
every time I sign up a new client, right? I mean, my network goes up at least 10 to 15% just based on that one deal. Because let's take Eric for example. I really signed up Eric maybe 2 weeks ago, but
Right.
since then I've gotten Damian. I've gotten at least 4 or 5 people from his office. I've got Erica. I got Ali. I don't want to go into each single connection, but I'm just want to give you guys a feel of how with each deal my network actually grows by 10 to 15% just like that.
Right. And we all
Right.
offer something different, which is great, Raj, because some people that might mesh with me, I'll work with those in your client base. Some people that mesh with Damian. I mean, me and
That's right.
Damian and I have been to the same mixers and same networking events, and some clients like working with me. Some clients like working with Damian. So it's going to be the same thing as Pete comes on, and some other people join on and work with you because we all have our niche, and that's where we can help out that certain niche and help them out. So it's a great opportunity.
You're absolutely right. Each one of you are unique in your own way. You're going to have a certain personality. So based on that, you're going to attract a certain group of people. And the good news here is, see, the pie is big enough for everybody.
Right.
It's not like you need to close all the deals in Sacramento to survive. If you just close 2 or 3 deals a day, you're doing pretty good.
Right, exactly. And with all the homes that they're building, I know Damien and I were at a mortgage office the other day. We drove by, and there was a field full of homes that are being built. So all
Beautiful.
people are moving in. Not only that, but everything off of 50. I mean, it's really huge, and we're seeing a huge increase as we're talking to mortgage brokers that the economy's turning around, that the price of homes is going up. So we're starting to see people having equity in their homes. Well, as
That's
people
right.
have more equity in their homes, their demand for insurance is going to increase, and that's where we can help
Absolutely.
out. Yeah, I mean,
Like
we
Warren Buffett says, yeah, like Warren Buffett says, insurance is a recession-proof career. People are going to need insurance, whether the economy is hot or cold. It doesn't matter. You
Yeah.
still want home insurance. If your house burns down, you want it protected,
right, absolutely,
right?
In a lot of cases, you legally have to have it.
yeah.
Like auto insurance in California, you need to have auto insurance to get on the street. Isn't that right?
And you
And,
can't get a loan for your house without a mortgage, without insurance either.
And,
That's
and
right.
through our consultative approach, Raj, we've noticed that we've helped people that have been underinsured and have not had the protection on their assets, and
Sure.
have had opportunities for, liability to attack their assets. We've been able to go in, talk to them, and help them put together an insurance buying strategy that is now protecting all their assets. And, we've been given, gift cards and all kinds of things to restaurants. I mean, because people are recognizing our ability to help them out and make sure that they're correctly insured. So I'm excited to bring that message down to LA and start working and developing a network down here, and then bouncing up to the Bay Area and San Francisco, up north, Redding. I mean, there's a lot of areas of opportunity where we can, again, just develop that niche market with you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because that's the good news on the strategy, because the internet knows no boundaries,
Right.
right? So, for example, this particular video that we are recording, it's not like it's just going to be watched by people from Sacramento or just the local people from Natomas. This is going to go worldwide, guys. I mean,
Right.
when you look at my YouTube channel, there are people in New Zealand who have watched my videos. However, I never really set foot on New Zealand.
Right.
Right, and the good news here is when you make content like this and target market, let's say to San Francisco, for example, and you just go to San Francisco one day in a month, you don't need to have an office in San Francisco, you don't need to live in San Francisco, but
Right.
you're just promoting your videos to real estate agents from San Francisco, right?
Yep.
And then let's say one fine day you decide to go there and meet them, for them it will feel like they've known you all their life,
Right.
right? You guys have seen me in action, whenever I go into the YPN events, see, I know half the people in the room.
Yep.
And some of them, I may not have seen them in 3 months, but it doesn't feel that way. You know why? Because we interact on Facebook. Whenever I post something, these people still get to see it. So it creates an impression that I've just seen Raj yesterday,
Right.
right? So it basically makes those relationships a lot stronger. And what it really means is when you go out to meet these agents, the chances of a deal are extremely high,
Exactly. It,
right?
I remember when the first time I met you, Raj, I'd looked on your Facebook page, noticed
Right.
exactly who you've been working with, and I did my research. And you bring a lot of power, you bring a lot of expertise to the table. So I know
Thank
that
you.
after researching you, just from looking at your Facebook page and your YouTube page, that you know what you're doing. You're very professional. People have a lot of respect from you. I mean, just from the events that we've gone out and done with you, I mean, a lot of people come up to you and ask you for advice. Depending on whatever business they're in. So that's nice being able to work with you, because as you talk to other people and they need our help, here we are. We're here to help out, and you can kind of determine which area they should go in, and how we can help them out in overall. And it's just one big community. So it's been great working with you, Raj. I really enjoy it.
Thank you, Eric. And likewise, like I said, I'm extremely grateful to you for everything that you've done. So this has just been incredible. So Pete, where is your agency located? Are you in Sacramento?
Well, I do two. I work in two areas. I have in Penn Valley, which is next to Grass Valley. So
Oh, okay.
I go through Auburn and I go up to Grass Valley and Penn Valley, and then I also do work down in Granite Bay and Folsom as well, like with these guys. So there's two locations that I work at, and really three opportunities. I look at the area around Penn Valley, Grass Valley.
Okay.
Not so much for homes, but cars and rentals and things like that because of fire line issues. Then I go through Auburn almost every single day. And then I work also the base down in Folsom. So there's three markets that I can target. And I do, which I think Eric and Damian also do as well, is where you deal with business clients. it's good to have local, but it's also not that important that you can't expand across basically anywhere in California for business clients or workers' compensation.
Right.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. And as we progress down this strategy, one of the things that you guys are going to find is that sometimes, somebody from San Jose may just contact you. You may not have even met this person, but they may contact you and they may say, something like, "Oh, I know that you just did a deal with one of my friends or one of my cousins in Sacramento. Can you please generate a quote for workman's comp or whatever?" And just to give you guys a feel, like 3 years ago, there was this guy from Canada who contacted me. I've never really set foot in Canada, but this guy, somehow came to know about my social media business. So this guy contacts me from Canada. We have a 5-minute conversation, and then he PayPal me the money.
Wow, that's quick.
That's exactly right. So basically the advantage of this particular strategy is that you're not just stuck to Sacramento or you're not just stuck to Folsom. You could basically market your business everywhere in California,
Right.
right?
It,
And
it,
potentially benefit out of it. Yes, sir.
exactly. No, I was just agreeing with you. I think that like I was telling you, Raj, before even getting down here to LA, I was already making connections and people are already adding me to their referral networks.
Right.
So I mean, now by going there in person, we already have a relationship built. So it
Beautiful.
just makes the technology age makes it so much easier to develop that relationship, and then when you meet in person, you know exactly what your background is and what you do for a living, and then you could just take that referral network and just talk more about what's going on and what's making the business grow. But I think the biggest thing that we've learned is how to talk to people on Facebook is not to ask them for their insurance, not to even bring up insurance because it really doesn't matter. That's obviously there what we need to do, but really it's about what we can do to help their business grow, and
Absolutely.
how I can help a mortgage person get more referrals and help a realtor get more referrals through working on my network. So I think that's been something huge that we've really tapped into, and people are responding well to it.
And if you look at the three of us,
Yes.
Damian has a huge amount of knowledge in the auto industry.
Sure.
Eric and myself, we have years of experience in mortgage and in banking. You have an NMLS, or didn't you?
Yes.
I used to carry an NMLS, meaning you have the license to write loans. So you have that understanding of what the basic understanding of what the clients need. We have a business background as well, so there's just a whole lot of synergies we can build with clients, which your run-of-the-mill insurance agent probably cannot do in a lot of cases.
You're absolutely right. See, that expertise will come in very handy, Pete, because that is what will set you apart from somebody else, who's just passing on a brochure and trying to sell something for $50,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because when people go to an insurance agent, it's almost like going to a doctor. Like when you go to a doctor, how many times have you told the doctor, "Hey, can you prescribe me something cheaper?" Right? You
Yeah,
don't that doesn't even come to your mind because when you go to a doctor, what you're really expecting is, okay, you got some kind of situation and the problem needs to be addressed. The pain needs to go away tomorrow. That's the real concern,
absolutely.
Raj,
right? And the same thing with insurance. See, when you have the expertise, if people look at you as an expert who knows exactly what auto insurance is about, then they're not really going to compare your policy with somebody else.
Raj, to that point, what we do and what we've been trained to do and what our mentors have put in place for us and kind of paved the path before us. Our mission is to safeguard against financial ruin. And to bring up this doctor example that you just put out there, we say that prognosis without diagnosis is malpractice. Okay.
That's right.
And what many of these so-called insurance professionals have done is they go out and they put in these policies out there, and they're just stamping them out like they work in a factory, and they are not diagnosing their clients' needs. They're not looking at their assets. They have not figured out what exposures they have. And that's really where we've set ourselves apart, because that's what we're doing. We come in and we try to safeguard them from financial ruin by diagnosing those exposures, finding out where it is that these things can harm them financially, and how do we protect them? How do we implement a strategy that will safeguard them? And we have set ourselves apart, and that's what our mission is to do, and to take care of our clients. And it's extremely important, but unfortunately, you mentioned a man who is extremely wealthy and who owns an insurance company, but he knows nothing about insurance. His only focus is making money, and he or the people that are out there, not necessarily him, but people will put coverages in place that don't do that. They don't safeguard people's assets. They don't diagnose those things, and it's extremely important that we do that.
You're right. You're right. Whenever you get something for cheap, it's worth only what you paid for.
Right.
Yeah. Now there are times where we do beat on price, but if you're selling based on the fact that you beat them on price rather than that you've offered a superior product that's going to protect them from risk, you're undercutting yourself, and you're also setting them up to think in a way where they're not thinking about their protection, but they're thinking about saving $5 or $10.
Beautiful.
And the interesting thing when you see this is this type of mentality is it's not necessarily people who are struggling that do that. I was dealing with a gentleman the other day who has a huge amount of assets, and he's worried about $10, even though I'm offering $250,000 more in coverage.
Wow.
So it is a re-education, and it is, thinking about, I'm giving you something that's going to protect you, not something where, next year we'll be bargaining over $10 again, because I'm not doing you any service by doing that.
Yes, yes. So all that I'm going to say is, see, the world that we live in is a very diverse group of people, so you are going to find some extremes in both directions.
Mm-hmm.
But so long as you start presenting these issues in your content, see, today we are just doing like a Google Hangout where we are kind of touching on some of these issues. But as we go forward, you guys should start focusing on creating videos where you're really drilling deep into these kind of issues. Hey, what happens when you skip over this particular term on your auto policy? For example, the uninsured liability. Whatever. You think you're saving $50, but this is what it's going to ultimately cost you if you get hit by one of these uninsured vehicles.
Well, and if you think it's a good idea, what I'd like to do is, while we're down here, maybe we could put something together where tomorrow night, say we do it at Google Hangout. So since all three of us here together, we talk about auto insurance. Tomorrow night we can get together same time, go out on the patio and figure out, and we can come up with an idea prior to, if you guys are up for it.
Sure.
And tomorrow we can dive into auto, and then maybe Wednesday we do home, and then Thursday we can do commercial, and say Friday we can do just strictly umbrellas. Well, no, Friday we're going home, so yeah. Friday we'll take the day off. But,
right. Yeah. After you reach home, you can still do it.
Yeah, absolutely. We can all connect on there too, and put it all together as well. So,
absolutely.
I think it's a great idea. That way we can, we all have our expertise. We've all seen different scenarios and met with different customers that've had different instances of, insurance, liability and exposure. So that's where we can really put our heads together and educate the community about that.
Absolutely, that's all it all boils down to. It's about educating the community. So once you start this process, the good news here is you can use one video to reach out to like 1,000, 2,000 people. So you're not just talking to one or two people at a time. You're basically touching like 1,000, 2,000 people in one shot.
Right. That's huge, man. I mean, how many times can you get 1,000 to 2,000 people together in a classroom or a meeting or something like that? I mean, to be able to reach somebody like that with 2,000 people is huge.
Yes, sir. That's the power of this internet. It's the ability to scale. Mm-hmm. I mean, when I said 1,000, I was being very conservative. You can hit 10,000 if you like. Sky is literally the limit. So I know Pete just joined us, and Pete, I just want to share one number with you. There are like 1.2 billion people in and around the world who are on Facebook. That's
Yep.
the kind of numbers we are talking about just on that one single platform.
Yep. No, it's huge. It's huge, and the thing is you if you know what you're doing, you can slice and dice to hit your target markets because there's a certain type of customer who is a confident planner who is interested in the types of issues that we're looking at, or those that we can educate so that they understand what we're about, and those are the ones that we have to figure out how to target.
Absolutely. Absolutely. See, the good news here is both on Facebook as well as YouTube, you can actually do targeted marketing. And what that really means is, let's say for a certain product, you guys, based on your company statistics, you know that more people from El Dorado Hills are likely to buy this particular product as compared to, let's say, somebody from Rio Linda. I'm just making this example up.
Sure.
Now, one of the things we can do on the Facebook side is, let's say we just made a small video talking about what this product is about. We can really target market to people in El Dorado Hills, based on the zip code and age and income, average income. You can say average income should be at least 100,000 for a person to actually see this particular video. So you can actually target market to demographics of that nature.
Okay.
So when you're targeting those kind of areas, see, then you're not just blindly splashing this to everybody in Sacramento and then hoping it's a hit or miss. I mean, using the strategy, you're really target marketing to areas where people are most likely to buy this particular product.
Right. Absolutely. Well, and I think that's so important because we can market to, say, somebody in El Dorado Hills where the fire line issue may be an issue, and we can help them out on their homeowners. And then to Rio Linda, we can focus on, obviously we can write anything there. So it's going to be where we can really focus on financial services, say in El Dorado Hills, or we can focus on life insurance in Rio Linda, depending on what statistics we find out there is in those demographics.
Exactly. So it's all based on whatever you guys provide me. See, if you can do that market research and if you have some kind of data which farmers is collected based on, what zip codes, what product sells best.
So I think the biggest thing that we can start doing too is begin to introduce realtors and police officers. Those are our affinity groups. I think that we can start introducing those groups into our Google Hangouts because they get a great discount. They need the products and services that we offer because of their job exposure. And, I think that that's something that we can start to incorporate as well next week and start inviting people to start doing that too.
Yeah, and like registered nurses, physical therapists.
Absolutely. Pilots. Damian was talking to a pilot on the plane ride down here and, engaged in a great conversation with him about liability limits and how he's going to help his family protect him. And, it's just a great conversation to hear him talk about that stuff. So those are the kind of, case studies that we can bring to the Google Hangout. And I think it'll catch a lot of people by surprise. They'll start watching the video and then all of a sudden they'll start thinking about their own exposures. And
right.
Here we go. We're making that ball roll and helping them out. So, and that's a great thing. It's really collaborating. All three of us have different strengths. All three of us have different weaknesses. And, by working together, we can definitely help each other out and be successful. And then, of course, we're getting it all together, Raj. So, you help us out and get us all incorporated online, so it makes it easy.
Absolutely. It's teamwork, guys. That's all it is. And by the way, Damian, on that particular issue, did you collect that pilot's contact information?
We had a great conversation, and he's a fellow cyclist. I gave him my business card, and we're going to be in touch and go for a bicycle ride, or 2 or 3 or 7, as many as we can. But yeah, absolutely. It was an hour flight down here, and it just happened that he was a pilot for a major airline, and we sat next to him, and we just kind of traded stories back and forth and kind of talked about what's going on in his industry and what we do in our industry. And it was funny. He mentioned that he had to increase his liability limits, on his auto policy, and he told me what they were. And after the conversation, he told me what liability limits he had, and after I was done explaining to him how things actually worked, he's going to be making additional changes. Those were not protecting him. They were 100, 300. Wasn't enough to protect his assets, and he was quite displeased with his current agent that they never had that conversation. We'll continue to talk. It's not always about sell. We don't need to pressure every single person and force them. It was good, just a great conversation to have with somebody, and I know that he'll be in the cockpit one day flying with his co-pilot, and he'll suggest that his co-pilot call me, or his friend, the guy on the side on his bicycle or something like that. He has my contact information. And again, it was more or less, just letting him know that I have the knowledge that could protect him. That wasn't the time. It wasn't the place. We're not going to close that deal right there on the airplane.
That's right.
But it was certainly about giving him the information that he needed. In the future we'll connect and we'll go from there. So.
Beautiful. See, that's the only thing I want you guys to be mindful of. It's not really important to close the deal right at that very minute. However, wherever possible, try to collect their information, because the challenge here is, the guy is just traveling. So let's say you just give him the business card. What if he just loses the business card?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, collecting their information is always best. It would have been, Eric and I actually talked about that. It would have been a little bit awkward trying to get his information just based on the conversation that I had with him.
Absolutely. I'm just giving you guys broad guidelines. You don't need to use it in each and every single instance. There will always be exceptions.
Yeah.
Right?
We do want, that's something we talk about. We always want to get other people's information because they could lose it, or any number of things could happen where they don't contact us. But if we get their information, we can be in contact with them and connect with them on Facebook and those kinds of things. And that's something that you've taught us. And I'll be honest with you, I failed you. I didn't ask him if he was on Facebook. And I didn't ask him if he could be my friend, or if I wanted to be his friend, or he would accept
Damian, what I'm really doing is, I'm acting like your coach. See, there are things that you guys may forget. It's my job to reinforce it. That's why I keep asking you. See, even with Eric, I think earlier today I just texted him saying, hey, remember to take pictures.
Right. Absolutely.
Because these are all small things, but you know what? When you're in the middle of it, when you just travel from Sacramento to Los Angeles, you may or may not have taken a nap this afternoon. See,
Eric took a nap.
It's not at the very high. It's not very high on your mind. However, from my side, I want to make sure that you guys are closing as many deals as possible.
Sure.
Right. So and that goes for that goes for our other friend as well. If you guys can please educate Peter on on the Facebook thing just a little bit of whatever you guys know. So Peter, I don't know if you guys are all going together or if you're going to break off and go and meet different real estate agents, but please remind Peter to take pictures as well wherever he goes.
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely. It's so important. Just from the pictures we've taken today, we've engaged in great conversations, and that's something that, Peter does a great job working with people. He's very high intellect, and people like listening to him talk. And, it's great because, we're all going to go together, this week and, learn from each other and talk about what's working well. And, we really believe in collaboration in this district, and that's something that our mentors have brought in.
Yeah.
Like I said, we each have our strengths, but, we can definitely get in there. And Peter's going to do a great job connecting with people. And, we may meet some processors, we may meet some other mortgage reps. Well, Pete's talking to one mortgage rep, and, like I said, that's what's so great about this industry is that it's limitless. You know, that even three guys in the exact same industry walking into the exact same room,
Right.
be able to uncover three totally different opportunities, and
Absolutely.
learn and grow. And at the end of the day, we recap and we say, like Damian was saying, I failed at that. Well, I failed at taking pictures today, but you reminded me. And we can pass along those best practices so that way we step out of our comfort zone and we take those pictures and we collect people's information and those kind of things where we look back and go, great. By doing that and by learning and getting out of our comfort zone, all of a sudden we're connecting with so much more people, and those are the things that we don't normally think of, and that's where a coach can come in and really help us out. So we appreciate that, Raj. I mean, we take feedback. We get feedback all the time from our customers, from our mentors, from each other. So please feel free. You're not going to hurt our feelings. We want to grow. And if
not at all, not at all. See, because even if you miss the last opportunity, see, I don't want you to miss the next opportunity. See, I don't care about what happened yesterday, but I do care about what's going to happen tomorrow.
Exactly. Yeah, because it starts all over tomorrow. That the opportunities are there, and we have so much more opportunity there. So I think that's really important.
Absolutely. So, and by the way, we talked a lot about work, but guys, don't forget to have fun. You're right next to the beach, man. You're right next to Santa Monica and Santa Barbara. And, I used to live in Pasadena way back in 1998. And you know what? Every Saturday, every Sunday, I'll be out. I'll be going somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's so important.
Remember to have fun too, guys. And, that's important as well.
It's 70 degrees down here, Raj. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this.
Right.
Got great service here at the Hyatt. I mean, I recommend anybody who's in the area to stay here because the rooms are fantastic. The service is amazing. The food is delicious. So, absolutely.
Beautiful.
Yeah, thank you for reminding
me. One of the things you should do is when you're at the Hyatt, try to connect with the owner. See, what you want to say is, hey, we really enjoyed our stay here and we want to write you guys a good Yelp review.
Okay.
Right? That's the script you want to use. So is there some way we can get the business card, or can we meet the owner for a few minutes? You don't need to sell him anything right there at that spot, but you want to at least make that connection, and you want to make sure that that guy remembers your face. So you want to get his business card, and you also want to ask him, is it okay if we connect with you on Facebook so we can tag you in all these pictures?
Yep. Absolutely. I think that's so important.
Right. So, and then you want to throw the number 10,000. You want to say that whenever we post a picture on Facebook, 10,000 people are going to see it. Is this of interest to you?
Right. Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's a method behind the madness, and all that you're doing is, before you're asking somebody for their business, you're providing something of value to them.
Yeah, and then that's where we can build that relationship,
Absolutely. So thank you so much, guys, for your time. And does any of you guys have any questions at this point?
No, sir. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Raj. Appreciate it.
Enjoy your stay in Los Angeles. Bye.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Raj.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.